channel. Thanks for watching. Today we're going to be taking a look at Flexbox or CSS Flexbox. And I know that there's CSS Grid out now and that serves a great purpose, but Flexbox is still something that you should learn, especially if you're a front-end developer. But before we get into that, I just want to remind you guys to subscribe because I come out with videos pretty frequently. Although it is kind of random, I don't yet have a standard upload day. So just subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you can get notified when I do upload a video. I still have my complete Mern Stack Masterclass going on right now. We're going to start on the front end soon, hopefully. Um, I also do a lot of front end. I do some back end stuff as well. I also do PHP. Anyway, so hit subscribe and the bell icon. And also, if you find this video helpful in any way, even if it's just a small little detail that you pick up along the way, don't forget to hit the like button. And also, if you have a question or a comment or a suggestion, then feel free to please leave a comment. I usually respond pretty quickly. That being said, let's jump in and take a look at what we're doing here. So basically, I just have a folder called BCWA, Basic Coding with Adam Flexbox. Not a big deal. You can call it whatever you want. I have a file index.html, which I would suggest you have a basic knowledge of HTML before watching this video. I'm going to be coming out with one of those soon. If not, just Google that shit. There's plenty of them out there. I also have a styles.css file here, which if you worked with HTML, you'll at least have heard of CSS. So I'm also using VS Code, and we're going to be using live server, which is running right now. So let me turn that off. So I have live server installed. I also have this ES7 React Redux GraphQL React Native snippets, and I also have well, I believe it comes standard now, is Emmet on for Visual Studio Code so that we can do things like this. So that we can type in HTML and then hit HTML:5 and it gives us a basic boilerplate. So this is what we're working with. It also allows us to do things like div dot let's see, div dot main. Whoops, sorry about that. Div dot main, and then it assigns the class. Okay, which is pretty convenient. So let me just change this. Basic coding with Adam Flexbox. Okay, so we're going to do two. Well, first of all, I'm going to run you through the Flexbox, like just a few of the different options. I am not going to give you them all. There's not that many, but I just feel like it would be redundant. This video is not meant to show you every single Flexbox option. Um, I'm just trying to get you started, and then you could play around with it just so you know how to implement it. Um, so we got that changed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into the body and I'm going to give us a div, and I'm going to call it main for this. So we're going to do we're going to do this, and then we're going to do a project, a small, very small project after this, after I run you through it to show how you would use Flexbox. Okay. So we're going to create our div, our main div, and then I'm going to create another div inside of that, and I'm going to call it inner. Okay, so we have that, and then I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to paste it. Whoops. I'm going to paste it a bunch of times, maybe 8 or 10 times. It doesn't matter. This is just experiment. These are going to be our divs. These are the only thing we're going to have. We're just going to work with this as an example. Excuse me, I don't have corona, it's allergies. Okay, so this is all we're doing for our HTML. So our main div, and then a bunch of inner divs. This is typically how Flexbox works. It usually, you use Flexbox on your main div, and then the divs inside of that react to it. Like, you wouldn't necessarily, I believe it does work, but it's not ideal. It's so like in here you would have say, an H4, right? And then you would have H4s in all of them, and then the div is the thing that gets displayed with Flexbox, and then whatever's inside of it, you style, but that's not what you apply the Flexbox to. Okay, so let's do this, broskies, brosif. Okay, good. So if I save it now, you're not going to see anything, but just for the sake of argument, I'm going to turn on live server on your HTML. Oh no, you're not supposed to see my research. All right, so you can't see anything, but you can see VS Code live server comes with it. It opens it on our local host port 5500, and then it gives us index.html, and it goes to that automatically because it's named index, and that's just the way it works. So let's get into first of all, let's style our let's give our inner um, boxes some style so we can see them. So we're going to say we're going to set the height to 50 pixels, sort of whoops, not weight, width, sort of along the lines of like what it would be if it was an image. But we're just going to make it background dash color red. Um, we're just going to make it red squares so you can see it a little bit better. Let's give a margin of, we'll say 5 pixels, just so we can obviously tell them apart. And let's see what we got here. Good. Is that what I called it? Inner? Yeah. Okay. Not showing up. Background. Did I? Yeah, I named it right. All right. Well, anyway, let's not worry about that. Dot main. So now we're gonna do our main thing. So the first dealio that we do is display flex, which is display. Now, obviously, there's inline, there's block, and those are traditional standard CSS things. So we want flex. So we're going to display flex. Okay. And let's see what that gives us right off the bat. Just display, nothing. Oh, I'm sorry. What the? Oh, that's why. Duh. Jeez. Sorry, I forgot we have to link our CSS file. Jeez. Styles.css. Sorry about that. I can't believe I forgot that. See, even the professionals make a mistake. Okay, so we got display flex. It displays in a row, which is the default, and we'll talk more about displaying it in different ways in a little bit. But here's our 50 by 50 red blocks. You can see it spaces it out. The space is our margin, but it displays flex. I'll show you what it looks like without that. Now that I remembered that you actually have to link your CSS. Okay, so basically just go straight down, because they're all in a row. Okay, now let's see different ways. Let me put that back, undo, and let's see the different ways we could sort of manipulate that one. The first one that's pretty common that I use relatively often is flex direction. Now, like I said, it's set to row, which means it's aligns them up horizontally in a row, but you could also do in a column, which is up and down basically. Save all, and then it gives you that column uh, up and down, right? See, so that's column. If we delete this flex direction and just leave it as standard flex box, we get a row across. Okay, so that's you could also do flex direction. Now, of course, you can't tell here because we just have red boxes, so they all look the same. So you can do flex direction row dash reverse. There it is. And that just reverses the order, or the direction, I should say. All right, so that's flex direction. Now, Let's do flex. The next one that's pretty common is flex dash wrappy, and we're gonna select. Right now it's on no wrap because that's by default, right? So let's flex wrap to wrap, and let's see what that gives us. I think we might have to shrink our because our main is the entire length of the web page. So let's say width to I don't know 30 30 viewport width. So let's shrink it a little bit. Save all. See what that gives. Yeah, see. Okay, so our width of our container here is I shrunk it. So now as you can see it wraps it around, right? There's also wrap reverse, but that works this pretty much the same way as flex direction. I'm sorry. Yeah, flex direction row reverse. So that's when you want to wrap, because if not, it'll go right out of your container. Let's do, we're going to delete this. I'm going to delete the width, put it back to 100. Well, by default, it takes up the entire thing. Now, the next thing we're going to do is justify content. This is a great little Flexbox tool that I use a lot. We'll set it to center initially. Let's see what that gives us. See, sets it right in the center. So before, if you were familiar with CSS in the past, you would have to do margin auto and set a whole bunch of stuff. You would have to set the width of your container, and if you had a bunch of containers, you'd have to set it to like 33.3% or whatever. If you had three, if you had two, you had to set it to width of 50%, and then it was a total hassle. This makes it a lot easier for us. We can, and I'm sorry about keep switching back and forth. I want you to be able to see what I'm doing here. So our code is not too long. So let's do this. Let me shrink this a touch. All right, so you can see what I'm doing. So we can see it initially. Sorry about that. I should have done that from the beginning. Okay, so center. Hold on, Diddy. Hold on. So there's also flex dash start. Right? See what that gives us. That's sort of like the standard. I'm sorry. That's sort of like the default. There's flex dash end to appear at the end. So if you're doing like a top bar, where you had on the left hand side you had social icons, and on the right you had like a small list of navigation links. There's also let's see. There's also, I'll go space dash around. Okay, and that just splits up that gives an even amount of space around each one. There's also space between. Oops. Save, and that just gives the space between. I'll show you extended here. See, instead of having the space here, it puts all the extra space in between the items, in between the divs containers. Let's see. There's also one more, space evenly. Okay, space evenly. Save all, and then it just spaces them. Whoops. Expand this. See, it just spaces them evenly. Right? Very nice. Let's see. I'm going to let's delete this actually. Delete this for now. There's also the next one I wanted to talk about is align dash items. Okay, and we could do center for that initially to show you, and then it just aligns it center. Actually, I think justify. Oops, justify content center. There you go. And align items also has this pretty much the same thing as justify content. It has stretch. Oops, stretch. Yeah, there you go. and it would stretch out the contents. Let's see. All right, I think that's it. Let's do that project I was talking about. So I'm going to leave this like this, and I'll upload this to my GitHub, and I'll include a link to my GitHub there. Um, let's do something with Flexbox. Let's actually create something. Okay. So you notice I have this background image up here. This is just a standard. Let me expand this. Let me go here and expand this. This is just a stock image that I got from pexels.com. Pexels.com. And you can type as soon as it loads here. As soon as it loads here. So, okay, there you go. So you could type like city dark, right? And that's what I did. And you can search your images and stuff. Anyway, it's a nice little. There's also what the heck? I forget. There's another one. Pexels, and I can't remember the name of the other one off the top of my head. Anyway, uh, so let's create a file. New file. We'll call it city.html, and I'm going to type HTML with emit, and I'm going to select HTML5, so it gives us our boilerplate. So let's type here, basic coding with Adam, Flexbox. And for this, we're going to create two divs again, so that we can use it. Div dot, let's call it city. We can't call it main because that's the other name. And let's do div dot container. Yeah, that's good. And then in here, I'm just going to do, I'm going to do a p tag, paragraph tag, basic. Okay, and that's our HTML. So this we're going to it doesn't look like much, but when we use our CSS, we're going to it's really going to stand out. Let me close that. I'll show you what we got. So because live server is still running yet now, because it's named city.html, you have to specifically type it out. It won't just automatically go to it. Okay, and here we go. Here's our I'm sorry, p tag. So let's go into our styles.css. I'm going to leave these up here for now. They'll be in the they will be in my GitHub account. So we're going to do .city and open that up, and then we're going to do .container. Okay, and then for this, we're going to give it background attribute, just background. Set it to a color of these three C's. It's just like a dark gray, or CCC for short. We're going to set the URL for the background image to this bg-img.jpg. Fills it in for you. Let's see. We're going to set it to center, horizontal center. This is just for the background. Don't worry about it. Slash cover, and this is how you get like a nice big background. You'll see. Um, let's see. Okay, we're going to set it to a height of 100, oops, not 1000, 100 viewport heights, which basically means if you cut your computer screen into 10 sections, this is going to take up 100 of those. So whatever the screen is, if you said 50, it would take up 50 of those sections. Okay, even sections, by the way. Then we're going to set it to width. I'm going to say 100%. You could do 100 viewport widths, which would be VW, but 100% is fine. Okay, that's it for right now. I'm going to come to our container. Let's see, I'm going to give it a color, text color of purple. I'm going to give it a padding of, I'll say 40 pixels. You know, we're just goofing around here. Background color, background dash color, to which I am going to set it to an RGBA. It's actually RGBA, red, green, blue. And this way we can set the color and the opacity right here. Instead of, I'll show you, 255, 255. So basically you're setting the RGBA, I'm sorry, RGB colors of it, which for white is all 255s. If you wanted all black, if you wanted black, they would be all zeros. Don't ask me what anything else is. You have to look that up because it's just like random crazy numbers. But whatever the red, green, blue value is. Then at the end, the A, we're going to set the opacity, which is 0.7. All right. And let's give it a border of 222. Whoops. Now let's do 333, which is that dark gray. Oh, I forgot a semicolon here. 333, and then we'll do thin and a solid line. Let's see what that gives us. Refresh. Sometimes it takes a minute. Oh, again, Jesus. Holy crap. I'm having a tough time today, folks. Thanks for bearing with me, by the way. Styles.css. You got to bring in your styles.css file for it to work. And there we are. Okay, now, this might look good for a navigation bar to have it here all the way across like that, but it's not so good for our purpose. Okay? Yeah. What should we do here? Okay, so let's add our Flexbox to our city. So we're going to do display flex, right? Now we're going to do just two of them, and we're not going to use flex wrap because we only have one div to sort of manipulate. So we're going to, the two we're going to use is justify content, and we're going to set that to center, right? Just like before, and we're going to do align dash items, which typically get used together. We're going to set that to center as well. Save all. And there we go. And now it's in the center. Let me, actually I'm going to come down here and do dot container, whoops, container p tag. I'm going to do font size, we'll do font size 5 rem. Not M, just rem. And there we go, makes it a little bigger. But as you can see, it puts it right in the middle. Right? Just like that. Actually, yeah. As you can see, it puts it right in the middle like that. Right? So justify content moves it vertically in the middle. Align items moves it vertically in the middle. Justify content moves it horizontally. Okay, listen guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I hope you found this video helpful. Like I said, this is just an intro to Flexbox. It's just meant to get you started. There's not a ton of Flexbox options, but there's definitely enough to where you can be, where you can have a good time with it and you can really find it useful. If you guys found this video helpful, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell icon to get notified of future videos. If you have suggestions of things that you'd like to see, things that you'd like to see me explain, please leave a comment. I usually respond pretty immediately. And all right, that's it guys. Thanks for watching. Take care.